Hey, welcome to Powered by Education's live seminar today. And we have a special guest. I'm filling in for Jessica today, and I'm here with Sharon Fisher from HomeWorks by Precept, and that's part of the BJU Press family of tools. And so I am going to turn it over to her to explain some of the advantages and some of the tools that BJU Press offers to homeschool families. They have an incredible suite of tools and resources to equip parents to homeschool their children K through 12. So I'm going to turn it over to her. We're going to wait just a second before we get into the meat of the information, just to let a couple more people join us. But exciting stuff. It doesn't have to be scary and overwhelming to homeschool. When you're stepping into homeschooling for the first time, it's a lot of decisions to be made. Curriculum, record keeping. And when I've had the opportunity to look into BJU Press and their incredible suite of tools to help with the record keeping, provide curriculum. And so I'm super excited to turn it over to Sharon. So Sharon, just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about the tools that BJU offers to homeschooling families to make it easy. I found that many years ago when my kids were, middle school age, we used the DVDs. They had DVDs you could order for different subjects. And it made it super easy for me to just put in a DVD and have a teacher teach that subject and then have them do some supplementary work. And so I love the idea of making it easy for families to just add water and stir, and they're ready to go. And so as a parent, if you're feeling overwhelmed by a subject or just the whole idea of homeschooling, that you could have a team of people in the trenches with you. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you and have you kind of tell us what BJU Press offers.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm really thankful that we get the chance to talk today. BJU Press has homeschool and Christian school, as we had talked about earlier. And we have a company called Precept, and Precept is the selling arm for BJU Press. We have a homeschool side and a Christian school side. And the homeschool side is called HomeWorks by Precept. So a lot of times people will see us at an event, or they'll notice us at a convention, or they'll find our social media, and they'll always ask us, how are you related to BJU Press? And basically, we're the selling arm for BJU Press. We're the company that are the hands and feet, essentially, on the ground to be able to help you. So BJU Press Homeschool does have an 800 number. There's a customer service group of folks that are there to answer questions, and they also have technical support, which is really helpful. But also we have, through HomeWorks, we have homeschooling moms and dads all over the country. We have about 300 or so, a couple in Canada and just about every state. And they are people who are using the materials every day. And so they're really the best resource, because when a parent is new to homeschooling or new to BJU Press, or perhaps they just adopted a child, or they're trying to figure out whether or not this is going to be a good fit, they've pulled their child out of public school, they want some real practical help. And they need it right now. It's just about that time of year where everyone's starting. And so our HomeWorks consultants are available to answer questions. They provide workshops through social media. They have their own pages. We have a blog. We do webinars, in-person meetings. And so that's probably the number one resource we have, is our consultants. They're the moms and dads who use the material, and they're really the experts, because they know how to make this work for their family. And so they can tell you, based on the conversation you're having, how this can work for your family. So that's how we're related. And that's probably our number one resource. But we have all kinds of resources that we're going to talk about, distance learning, and then parent-led classes and things that are available through those as well.
I'm really excited about the idea of having the kind of the boots on the ground, the parents in the trenches, using the curriculum as the resource for families. And we're definitely going to have to connect them. We have Powered by Education hosts school choice Facebook groups we just launched in every state. So we're definitely going to have to get them, these parents in every state, connected. Just that wisdom and somebody that's a little bit ahead of where you are to say, here's what we've experienced, here's what we're going through. Sometimes is all you need to get through those hard days where you think, I might be messing everything up. I might be doing damage. And so having another parent to say, this is completely normal, you're fine, here's how we kind of overcame that is just, I cannot tell you the value of that. So what a great resource that y'all have put in place. So tell us a little bit about the differences in the curriculums. Back in the day, I used the DVDs, but I think now they have online. They have some online curriculum and traditional textbook curriculum. So tell us about the differences of what's offered and how the pricing of that, like how you can find those and access those resources.
Great question. Yes, there are different things that you can do. Some parents like to teach it themselves. And sometimes parents want to teach just one or two subjects themselves. A lot of times when people come to conventions, they'll tell us, this is what I think I'd like to do. And the longer we talk, the more they'll put themselves in a category of, you know what, I thought I wanted to do that, but now that we're talking about this, I think maybe that's not the best idea. So we won't talk you in or out of anything. Our main goal is to find out what's the reality of your situation. When you're brand new to homeschooling and you're homeschooling 4 or 5 kids just out of the chute, that's a lot different than a mom who's starting in kindergarten for the first time. And so we try to customize in that way. But if you want to teach it yourself, you can purchase a subject kit, and there comes a teacher's edition, the student book, any workbooks, tests, anything that you need. You can order as little as one item, or you can order a kit. Kits are usually priced already discounted. If you order through a HomeWorks by Precept consultant, you automatically receive 10% off plus free shipping. So that's an extra perk to order through a HomeWorks consultant. If you go to an event, to a HomeWorks event or a hotel event, or you do at a convention, you will probably find a little bit different pricing. There'll be a little bit better discount, but at least you're always able to get the 10% off there. And a kit gives a little bit more discounting. If you ever find a catalog, you'll see, in fact, I've got one here for our kits. You'll find that there's a shaded portion in the catalog, and what they've done there is they've, in the kit, made a reduced price. So they've actually taken a percentage off. This case, for subject kits, they've already taken 25% off those items. And so then you get the additional 10% off by ordering through a HomeWorks consultant. So again, you can just order 1 or 2 things if you want to, but the kit's a better deal. That way you have everything you need. You don't have to worry about whether or not you need something. And again, that all comes in the mail to you. You get, again, the activity manuals, the answer keys, everything. So it's up to you then to design your lesson plans. And we give you in the front of the teacher's edition a nice overview, and it explains to you, these are the parts and pieces. These are the things you're going to need. Here's how to plan your lesson. Here's where to find the resources that you need. You can go to BJU Press Homeschool.com, and you can actually click on that particular subject and look under resources. There are video links, and there are all kinds of resources there for parents. So that's pretty much an independent way to homeschool. And again, some parents want to do all parent-led. And some parents will choose to do a couple of parent-led and a couple of video classes. And really, it's completely up to you. We just want to give you the resources, and then you go with it however you want to. So that's parent-led. Now, if you're interested in the video classes, those come in two different forms. One is online, and one is DVD. And there are some similarities, and then there's some differences between those. So the video lessons are created at the digital studios there at BJU Homeschool, and they are primarily dedicated to taking the lessons in the teacher's edition that have been prepared for you, and then adjusting them to a homeschool audience of one. So they're thinking about your child in your living room or in your car or on the way to the doctor or wherever you're going, and they're gearing that lesson directly to your child. So you're not watching a classroom, but you're actually watching a teacher talking to you as a child. And they have a nice camera coming down above their head so you can actually see what's on their desk. So perhaps they're doing a manipulative lesson in math or maybe a dissection. So you're seeing close-ups of things. They also have a lot of fun segments where they do, sometimes it's puppets, sometimes it's a video field trip. There are PowerPoints involved. There are reviews. There's a lot of fun things involved in those. They range in time from 15 minutes to 45 minutes, depending on the class. So something like spelling, handwriting, some of those classes are about 15 minutes long. And those who are, let's say, history or science and math, they run 30 to 45 minutes, depending on the level of the class. And again, a parent can pick and choose whatever they want to do in those lessons. So, they might want to fast forward something, or they might skip an activity if they want to, but everything's there for you. You get to pick and choose. So advantages using DVDs, you use it when you want to. It doesn't matter what your internet connectivity is like that day. But DVDs are a lease, so you need to return them when you're done. And when you get your box, there's actually a sheet that explains what it's like to get the DVDs. There's actually a little sheet of, in fact, I ordered one yesterday just so I'd have one to show you today, straight from the box. There is one of these for every subject that you order. So this is for the DVDs. And there's a nice little getting started booklet, and it really tells you where to get going to help you. But you can also call your HomeWorks consultant that you ordered from and get some specific help. We have a YouTube channel. HomeWorks by Precept has a YouTube channel. And on that channel, we have some moms who have actually done unboxing, which is really a lot of fun. And they show you how they organize. And of course, you have your own choice in how you organize things, but it really helps to see how moms who've been doing this for a while do it. And sometimes they'll even say, I used to do this, but now I do this, or I learned some helpful tips. So getting started, that information is there. And this is what the DVD box looks like. And on the back, it tells you about the subject and also the teacher. And then it tells you what's being, I know there's a glare there, and I'm sorry for that. Let you know what's on each disc. So you're manipulating a disc. You need to have something to play it on. We have a couple national groups on Facebook where they're asking questions all the time. And one of the things they'll ask is, what do you watch your DVDs on? And a lot of them will recommend that you go on to Amazon or somewhere inexpensive and just get an inexpensive DVD player with a headset. And that seems to work for a lot of families, because when you have multiple children doing this, you don't want them, hearing each other's stuff. Now, some people, they put it right on their living room on their smart TV, or they put it in their DVD player, and everyone gets to enjoy it. I know that happens a lot. And so this is what it looks like, and it'll actually say BJU Press Distance Learning on it, and it will have the lessons on it. It'll tell you what lessons are on each one. So for this particular one, it has days 1 through 10 on it. And some people like to keep it in this box. Some people will take them out and put them in a little file box so their children learn how to use the DVDs themselves. But when you're done at the end of the year or whenever you're finished with them, you have 13 months to complete a video lesson through DVD. So you have plenty of time to do that. You put them back in the box. We recommend that you save the box that your things came in, and there should be a return label there. And a lot of moms will say as soon as they get theirs, they'll put the label right there with it, tape it onto it. And that way, when they're done, they just put it in the box and it's returned for free. No worries. These, again, it's a 13-month lease, so you need to return it. So if you see these for sale online, someone did not understand that. So make sure that you know that there's copyright, intellectual property there. And the other thing, too, is they're constantly updating things, and they want people to have things that are updated, and things get scratched when they're used. And so a lot of parents, you know, they forget there's a lease and they sell it, and then you're buying something that's not the best quality. So again, order through a HomeWorks consultant, or order at an event, or order online from BJU Press. So that's the DVD portion. And when you order DVDs, you will receive a student handout packet. And this is anything that the teacher of that class decides that you need already printed out, so you're not having to run down to Staples and print out everything you need. Although if you want to, maybe you've got 2 children doing this, you can do that. And in here, in the student handout, and everything's color coded, and I love this about BJU Press. We're always thinking about making things easy for you. The student handouts are always blue, and it actually tells you what it is, what's included. This actually is a letter from the teacher, and she says, "My name is Mrs. Overly, and this is Science 2, and I'm looking forward to helping you, your parent teach you." So this is directed to the child, and then it explains everything you're going to need for the class. This textbook, the activity manual, the DVDs, and then it even says need help, and there's an 800 number for the help. There's also an email address to help the kids as well. And the very next thing is the video lesson guide. This video lesson guide is a wonderful thing. This is for the student, and there's actually one for the parent as well. And basically what this is it's the lesson plans. And in it, it will tell you let's say day 1, video number 1, tells you the content of what you're going to be doing that day, any materials you need, the student pages, the activity manual pages, the assignment, and then any instructions that the parent might need. For in this case, it says to watch the orientation portion of the first video with your student, read the information in the front of your guide, and then check the activity manual page that your child did today. So this is great because as the students get older, hopefully you can see that, as the students get older, this becomes something they can do independently. They can go through this video lesson guide and check off what they're doing as they go. As they're a little younger, this is not quite as helpful. They're just learning how to read. This is 2nd grade science. But it's still good for the kids to see that they're making progress day by day as they're checking off what they did. And they're old enough to do that. 2nd grade, even if it's just a little check sheet. So that's in there. And then after the video lesson guide, we have any handouts. This is for the whole year. Any handouts that might be needed that the teacher thought that the student might need. Here's some really cute bookmarks. There's a science experiment here. Here's a rubric. These are great. So let's say, how do I even know how to grade something my child is doing? We provide that for you. And just because we provide it doesn't mean you have to do it that way. And that's another thing that is really great, is we understand as the parent, you make the final decision on what you grade, how you grade it. We say it's sort of like a buffet. We give you all the things that you might want, all the condiments, and then you pick what you want. So if you're new to homeschooling or new to BJU Press, I would recommend that you not do every single thing. Get acquainted with it, understand what's happening and how to lesson plan, how to make that work into your life. And then as you feel comfortable, add some things in. So we'll tell a lot of parents, why don't you start with one or two subjects at the beginning of your new school year. Let's start with math and science or math and reading. Get your feet wet and then start adding in as you go. Most things have 180 lessons, or we have enough material to cover 180 days. Some are a little less. In South Carolina, they require 180 days. That doesn't mean you need to do 180 lessons. It means that there's 180 days of school and you're getting lessons done in that time period. So you need to know your state laws. I recommend that you go to HSLDA, Homeschool Legal Defense Association, on their map, click on your state and find out what's required of you. But again, that's where it's helpful to talk to a HomeWorks by Precept consultant, because they know, and they have lots of tips on how to do that. You know, there's a mom in Texas I think of right away, and she knows for her 3 or 4 kids, how she keeps a portfolio for them, and she knows they're getting ready to go to college, and so she wants to make sure there's transcript information. She keeps certain tests. That's valuable information. And by the way, that's free. We don't charge for consultation. That we just do that because we want you to have what you need there for answering questions. So that's what's in the student packet. The student also gets in the kit a textbook, if it's a textbook. In this case, this is Science 2. It's a lot of fun. There's some answers and Genesis activities in here, but we do a lot of hands-on. We're all about hands-on. We want kids to be able to learn science process skills, so they're actually doing activities. They're formulating theories, and they're also checking to see if they work out. We have a lot of critical thinking, and we'll actually let the kids know this is the science process skill they're learning today. And so with this book, they also have an activity manual, and the activity manual is nice because the pages tear out. So some parents like that. Also, they're hole punch, so that way if you want to tear the pages out by lesson or by chapter, you can do that. Here's the study guide where they've just learned the different stages of metamorphosis with a butterfly. And so these are just resources for the child to do. There are things there to study for tests. It's up to the parent to decide which ones to assign and then how they want to grade them. So we give suggestions for that, but we don't tell you what to grade or how to grade it. So for DVD, the student is getting these items, and they also get from grades 1 to 4 tests, a test packet and answer key. Of course, we don't want the kids to have the answer key, but they're included in that packet there. So even if you would order as a parent-led kit, you would be getting all of these same books plus a teacher's edition. Now, some people might ask, why am I not getting a teacher's edition with the DVDs? Because someone's already doing the teaching for you. So you don't necessarily need the teacher's edition, but online there is a copy that you can check. So you can, if you want to, actually download it onto your tablet or your desktop, and you can go through the teacher's edition just like you would with a hard copy and see what's going on there. So we don't ever want you to feel like you're out of the loop. You can be included in any part of the lesson. If you want to order a teacher's edition, you can, and there's a reduced rate for that. And then again, for some of these, we've given the activity manual answer key because you need to know the answers to all the questions. Some things we know all the answers to, sometimes we don't, and we don't always have time to think through those. So the answer key is available either online or provided for you. So everything that's needed for the student is sent to you. Anything that's available for the parent, answer keys are provided here. Then online, you also have the teacher's edition, but also we have a parent guide if you're doing DVD. So this is a little bit different from online. Okay, so again, a lot of people order DVDs because their online connection is not good, or it's inconvenient, or they want it. I know people who homeschool on the road. So this is there for them, so they don't have to worry about doing that, although this is online as well. And there's a letter to the parent from the teacher, again, explaining what things are, where to find them. Again, so very helpful. This one actually explains something about your state and local requirements. It gives you contact information. And then it explains to you about grading, how to grade, a way to keep record of your grades. And with online, we actually have this digitally. You can actually go through, and this is something that you can connect to online as well. Information on grading scales. This is really great here. Parents ask us, how do I know what I'm going to need for the year? There's actually a chronological materials list. So what do I need to get to teach this class? This is science too. So we have things like potting soil, resealable bags, shoe boxes, things that you're going to find around the house or at the dollar store. Great resource. And again, you can find this online as well. So for a parent, you're getting this video lesson guide, you're getting the answer keys, but then if you log on to your account, and everybody gets account, you go to BJU Press Homeschool, and on the website, on the right side, there's a login. Parent logs in there, and then it has everything that they need to know, things they can click on, download, and that is for DVD, parents using DVD. And again, we have the video lesson guide. Again, this is basically the lesson plan. And again, you can adjust this. If you decide you want to wait 2 or 3 days to give a test, or perhaps you want to do the hands-on activity, but this is a bad week for that. You know, somebody got sick, or I didn't have a chance to run to the store yet. You can adjust that. You can decide. You may decide not to give your second grader a science test. That's okay. You don't need to. You can orally ask them some questions. You may choose to do a test. You may not. And then anything that was important after that, let's see if I can pull something up here, is available to you as well. So what we've tried to do is give you resources. We don't want you to get overwhelmed. And so that's why talking with a consultant is helpful, because when you first get this, let's say you've got 3 or 4 kids and you've ordered DVDs for every subject. That's a lot of stuff. Where am I going to put it? How do I organize it? Where do I even begin? That's where talking to a consultant is helpful. And they have all kinds of great tips. Again, on YouTube, we've got moms who will say, this is how I organize mine. We do this binder system. There's no right way to do this. Whatever works for you is the right way. So don't worry about that. And then there are just some resources in here as well for the parent. And these are graded rubrics. So if a parent wants to take grades, these are the pages that are available to them. So that's basically DVD. And by the way, in the box, you will get a list of all the parts and pieces that are in here, and you should check it and make sure nothing's missing. Because if there is, you need to call. Typically, everything's in there and it's very thoughtfully packed. But so 5th grade and up, the tests are in the parent pack that I just showed you. The video lesson guides are in the student pack and in the parent pack. You have 13 months to complete the lessons. The teacher's editions and resources are on the website. And on your account, if you want to order teacher's editions hard copy, you can do that at a reduced rate. And again, the consultants are trained to help you to use those. So online on the BJU Press site in your account, you'll find a spreadsheet for grades, materials list, extra handouts, a digital version. If you're on the road, you don't have your papers with you, a digital version of the lesson guide, digital TE. They're listed by chapter, all the resources that you need, answer keys, and even some quizzes depending on what grade you're teaching. So that's a lot. But I want you to know that there's resources everywhere provided for you. And so if you can't find it here, you can find it online. So that's a DVD, and I'll let you ask some questions about that, and then we'll talk about online, if that's okay with you.
I just wanted to touch on something you said. You mentioned that the DVDs and the support materials that come with it are basically a buffet, and you get to pick and choose. And I love that. It's a buffet in a box. Thank you so much for kind of unboxing it for us and walking us through the different the different pieces and the different resources. I love the fact that you said pick and choose, adapt it. I remember when we were doing the DVDs, some days you just have those days where you're on a roll and they could go through a couple of videos. And it was just great to be able to have that freedom and flexibility. So amazing. And it's grown since even we used the DVDs, just incredible resources available. I'm super excited. I also loved the idea of the portable DVD players. Brilliant idea. I would have never thought of that. Just being able to hand them the DVD and the portable DVD player, and they can take it. They don't have to have connectivity. You don't have to worry about internet issues or any of the craziness that comes along with, them getting distracted by games or videos. You can just give that to them and trust that they're working through that video. So that's a really great idea. You mentioned a catalog that families could get. Tell us where you'd get that catalog.
If you go to online, bjupresshomeschool.com, they'll have like a search bar, and you just type in catalog. You can get one sent to you, a physical one, but there's also a PDF version. And I thought what I might do today when we're done talking, I'll put a link there for them so they can actually see the catalog. This is our catalog from this year. And of course, this is just about over now. We're getting ready for next year, but everything in here is still good. This is what it looks like. Mine is spiral bound because I use it at conventions all the time with prices written in it. And in the catalog, you're going to find at the front, there's some explanation, but the video lessons are at the front of the book. And so we'll describe the lesson. You'll see the picture of the teacher. You'll see you'll see all my notes here. You'll see what's included in a set. And then if you are interested in parent-led, then that's at the back. And again, it goes from preschool all the way through grade 12, also includes electives and extra things there. And so if you want to do parent-led textbook kits, they're listed in the back by grade. And we'll have it listed for you, a grade 2, and they'll have a grade kit. So a grade kit is reduced even more. So if you were to purchase a whole grade kit, it's even less expensive. And then we'll take the 10% off through a consultant, or if you're at an event, more than that. But you may just say, I'm interested I think I'd like to try your science and history this year. Well, great. You can do that. Then you can buy subject kits, and then they're reduced 25% off plus 10% off. Everything is free shipping. So a lot of times parents, they get afraid. Now, like you said, a buffet in a box. Some people get scared of that. Like box curriculum. Oh no, I'm going to be literally boxed in by this curriculum. They're going to tell me what to do and how to do it. And I don't like that. I'm eclectic. I want to do this. Well, go do that. Go homeschool the way your kids need to be homeschooled. But you have options. So, pick and choose what you want. Now, it is less expensive to buy. The more you buy, the better it is economically for you if you order through BJU Press. But you're welcome to pick one subject at a time. Most people who start off with textbook, as they're going, they have more and more children, they realize distance learning option is really great. We had one mom, I was just looking online this week, and we're talking about distance learning, and one of the moms said, I've been homeschooling for 17 years, and this is the first year I've tried distance learning. What was I thinking? 17 years she taught her kids. I mean, she's graduated some. No distance learning classes, taught them all herself. You know what? If you want to do that and you're able to do it, God bless you, go do it. I know the value of teaching one-on-one with your kids. I understand that. But it is complicated when you have many children and many subjects. And if you have kids involved in sports or ministry opportunities in your home, sometimes mom works. I know there are moms at homeschool that work, or single moms that are homeschooling. Having the digital option is a lifesaver for them. I recommend everybody try at least one class. We have some classes that are fairly inexpensive if you're looking for an elective for upper grades are $79, plus you get the discount. Our Bible is $49. That's everything for the year. The video classes, the book, the tests, everything that you need. A typical class for distance learning, online and DVD, by the way, are the same price. It includes the books. They run $299 for a class, and that's everything. But right now, which is a great time that you've actually decided to do this Facebook Live, right now, I think it's through the end of this month or end of next month. I can't remember, but it's on our page, and I'll actually put it on your page. 50% off 6 or more video lesson classes. So a class that's $299 is $150 if you order 6 or more. So I have a close friend that lives nearby here, and she forgot there were different conventions, and she thought there were more conventions this time of year, and they're over. And she said, what am I going to do? Because I was going to get the discount. And I said, if you order right now, you can get the video lesson classes 50% off. And she needed 3 grades of classes. So I just got an email from the person that took her order yesterday, and she said, thank you so much. I'm so glad I was able to provide this discount for her. We don't provide that every day. Usually if you order through a consultant, they can provide 25% off 3 or more classes anytime, which is still huge. But right now they're 50% off 6 or more. So let's say you have 3 kids and you want to play with the idea of using a video class. Pick 2 for each child. You pick a Bible. They're only $49, so they're half off. It's $25 for a class, or a foreign language, $79. It's half off.
I actually picked the subjects that I could not teach.
Yes.
So I picked the ones that were the most overwhelming to me, the math and the science. And those are the ones that I picked initially when we started doing some, online and distance learning classes. That's what we started with, were the ones in middle school that I thought I should not even be trusted to teach the subject. One of the things that you've talked about a couple of times are conventions. So just briefly explain to new homeschooling families what conventions are and where they can find those and what that's about.
Well, conventions are nationwide. Usually convention season starts at the end of February, and they go all the way through the very beginning of August, and they're all over. And so if you go to our website, which is homeworksbyprecept.com, there's a tab that says Event and Consultant Locator. And if you click on that, it has a map. And on that map, it shows, oh, you guys are so good. You go ahead and you show all of the states, and you can click on your state. And when you click on your specific state, you scroll down on the left, it has the name of all of our consultants, and they have a dot so you can see where they're located. You click on their name, and it takes you to their own personal website. Oftentimes they'll tell you where their events are. But beneath their names, you'll see all the events we have. And these are national conventions. So they might be a very big convention like Great Homeschool Conventions or Teach Them Diligently conventions. Tennessee, there's one in Nashville. There are also some smaller conventions that are association. We have some very small conventions that we work. And so if you go on there, you'll see the different conventions that we're working, and check out their website. And let's just say Teach Them Diligently, just for the sake of discussion, because I know there's one in Nashville there. You click on that, and then you go to their website, and you can see the pricing, what's available. Teach Them Diligently is very heavy on workshops, and a lot of Great Homeschool Conventions very heavy on workshops. So we're at those events to work the booth, but we're also there to provide workshops. So you'll find a lot of the moms, and I'll be there. A couple other speakers will be there, and we will provide workshops for the parents. Could be on how to use BJU Press, could be teaching your child with special needs at home. So conventions are very helpful. You get to go into in a big room where there's all kinds of curriculum. There, a lot of times HSLDA is there. There's resource material. Sometimes you can find other companies that sell books a little less expensively. It's always cheaper through a HomeWorks consultant. At a convention, we provide a little bit deeper discounts, which is helpful. There at our booth, you'll see everything from K3 all the way through 12th grade. You can look at any book. We have video lessons you can watch right there at the table. One thing we've done the last couple of years is we've had large tables there for moms and dads to sit down. And I've seen parents there for hours, literally paging through the books, looking at it, orienting themselves with it. And parents will come 2 or 3 days looking through materials and praying about it, asking a consultant, this is my situation. That happens a lot. My child has special needs, or I've adopted a child and there's language issues, or I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm brand new to homeschool. Tell me what is going on. And so we'll start with wherever you are that day, and we'll try to help you with the bigger picture of homeschooling. And then we'll try to tell you how BJU Press would work for you or not work for you, depending on your situation. Sometimes it works great for several kids in the family and maybe not for another. So we'll talk you through those things. We'll talk about what you might want, your preferences. You order there and everything is shipped to you for free. And then you've got the 800 number, the email number, and you've also got consultant information for help. So let's say you've just ordered something and everything comes to your door and you're like, I don't even know where to start. Call your HomeWorks consultant. If you ordered at a convention, go back to your map and go find a consultant near you and go, I ordered at the convention and I need help. The convention leader will send you an email so you can actually talk to the convention leader. I think conventions are well worth it. They can be very overwhelming though, and they also cost money. So depending on where you're going, you're paying for a hotel, you're paying for convention fees, you're paying for parking, you're paying for food, and if you take your family with you, that can be expensive. So that is a good thing to do. I think everybody should at least go to one. You need the camaraderie. You need the fellowship. Some moms, sometimes we do is just hug a mom and give her encouragement, and that one-on-one is really helpful at a convention. But we also have HomeWorks events and curriculum displays. So perhaps you live too far away from an event like that. Well, we try to do things locally in towns at local hotels, and they're free. If you go on the consultant locator, you might find a hotel near you. It's totally free. Usually they're open from 10 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. The books are displayed, and it's just bring your kids in. They have a video for them. There's activities for them to do. You can just sit down and talk at your leisure, and you don't have 70 people around you at the booth and all the exciting things going on there. And there are special discounts for those events. And then there are events that, let's say, none of those work for you. You can call a consultant and say, I really want to look at these events, look at your materials, but you're not even close by with an event. Sometimes they will create an event for you. You can have something in your home and you invite a couple friends, or they might meet you at Starbucks or something. I've seen people meet at the park. I've seen people meet at campgrounds. I've seen just about any number of ways to get to you to help you see materials and get you a discount. And of course, you can always order by phone. So
I love that idea. I love that
great.
idea of kind of having a small convention type individualized experience. I do love the conventions. I am a curriculum nerd, and so I would just recommend going with an accountability partner, maybe cash, you don't, just. I would get crazy. Take snacks so you can spend the day. I would definitely get crazy. There's so much fun new stuff that's coming out all the time, and so I would get there and just absolutely go crazy. So. Yeah, definitely take somebody with you. So one of the things that I wanted to ask about the curriculum is you talked about offering a Bible class curriculum. Mm-hmm. Is all of the curriculum Christian curriculum? Are there non-Christians that use the curriculum? And tell me a little bit about that, how that works, if it's a separate Bible curriculum or if it's all Christian curriculum.
That is a great question. This material is completely woven with a biblical worldview. It's Bible is a separate subject, but that's just because people want to teach Bible as a separate subject. Bible is woven through everything. One thing BJU Press is known for, well, two things, particularly critical thinking skills. The materials are written with higher level thinking skills in mind and a biblical worldview. So we talk in every book, whether it's handwriting or spelling or grammar and writing, math particularly is interesting. A lot of homeschool families don't realize that teaching math with a biblical worldview is very important. That's teaching your child that 1 hour a day or 30 minutes a day during math class, God has nothing to say about math, and that's totally untrue. So we're talking about teaching them about careers, where they're using their skills to serve the Lord. We teach them that man is made in God's image and that God gave man dominion over the earth and all the things in it. And that includes the tools you use in your everyday life. And he tells man to honor God and to love your neighbor. So that being the case, how do I use my spelling skills? How do I use my grammar and writing? How do I use the way I use money or the way I measure things to honor God and to show love to my neighbor? And we give practical application for that. So there's a lot of hands-on. So it is definitely Christian in nature. It's not just a Bible verse on a page. We are teaching we're wanting to do is equip our kids in this generation, in this world they live in today, to use the skills they're learning today to bring glory to God and to show love to their neighbor. And if these things are not going to help our neighbors, they're useless. God asks us to be salt and light. And so how do I do that as a 7-year-old? How do I do that as a 15-year-old kid? Well, we're going to give you those resources written right through in the lesson. So Bible is a separate subject where you're studying just Bible. You can buy that separately, or you can buy that as a full kit with that, but you're going to get Bible everywhere. So do people who are not Christians use our materials? Yes, they do. Now, if you are opposed to Christianity, or you're opposed to the Bible, or you feel like this is too religious, that may not be the best choice for you. And really getting to look at the books yourself, I think, will help you to decide whether or not you feel that way. But we have people who are many different denominations who use our books. I recently heard of someone, a lady who was Muslim, and she ordered it because she wanted her children to understand that even though they did not believe in the same God that we believe in the Bible, that other people do, and it would be educational for her children to understand that point of view. And I thought that was really amazing that she was that open-minded. On the other side of that, in our materials, let's say we're talking about science, we will show opposing points of view or other points of view too. So we'll show them about evolution, and we'll talk about other, humanist points of view, and we'll show them this is this person, this is their point of view, this is their theory. Here's some materials by them. Let's read through that, and then let's take a look at what the Bible says about that. And we have the kids draw their own conclusions. We're not telling them what to think. We're just trying to get them to think. Now, of course, as a parent, you want to guide those conversations. You want to go farther with them on that. So as a parent, you're not just left to watch the videos and then here, get all this Christian worldview. It's your responsibility too, if you care about that, to have those conversations. And those are great conversation starters. So great question. Yeah, that's one thing we're known for. And I think across the board, every subject at the level we do it, I don't know anybody who does it to that level. And I will tell you, as a parent, knowing that my children use these materials from little all the way through, I was able to give them, through their education, the things that they need to know. And then they have had to grow up and make their own decisions. But those are all seeds planted in their heart over the years. And I'm thankful that we were able to equip them using these materials. So good question.
That is great. It's a great foundation, definitely a great foundation in to give them that teaching interwoven through all subjects. Okay, tell us a little bit. We have a few minutes left. Tell us a little bit about the online portion and how that's similar and different to the DVD curriculum.
Sure, great. And I'm sorry if there's a glare. My glasses tend to glare, but reading is much better when I wear them. For online, of course, it's the same lessons, but you want to make sure you have a good online connectivity. Now, the nice thing about online is you don't have to be stuck at home to watch online. I've seen kids, mom to do a coffee date with a friend at Starbucks, and their kids were doing their online on the phone or on a tablet. So it all depends on your connectivity, being able to go on a vacation, being able to, dad travels, family goes along. If you have the ability to connect, using a hotspot on your phone or something, that's the key there. So same material there, 5th grade and up, all the tests are online. So if you want to print off a test for your child and do it manually, you can do that. Some people like the online option. If your child doesn't do well on the test and you want to reset it and do it again, you can do that. You do get the student pack that we talked about in the mail, but the parent pack is online, and there's a whole other login for the parents. There's a parent portal there, and they give you when you sign up, they send you right away an email, and you get onto that email, and it signs you up to the BJU Press Distance Learning online portal. And there is a wealth of it. That's like the Bible of homeschool for BJU Press. Everything you need to know about BJU Press homeschool is there for you. On there is a parent login. So the parent has parent materials, and then there's a student login. So depending on how old your child is, you want them to learn to be independent and to go through materials themselves. They log in, and there's actually a discussion group for 9th grade and up, math and science. So I really love that, because there are kids on there that are going, oh, I'm going to have to do this dissection today. And, and they're talking to one another. Now, you can turn that off as a parent. You have control over that if you want. There's a digital e-textbook there. So if you want to have your child, let's say they're going somewhere and you don't want to carry the books with you, the book is online. So you can actually read the book online. For kids who struggle with special needs, they can highlight, they can do all things to it, which is really helpful. If you have apps, they can read it to them, which is great. You have the new classes always start July 1st, and they go through December of the following year. So if you were to sign up for a class today, they've just started, and that gives you about 18 months. Now, you might not start till December. You still have till December of the next year, and you start right at lesson 1. So it's not like a live streaming class where they've already taught 4 lessons. You start at lesson 1. You manually choose how you do that. So you have 18 months of access. You can choose a second login. So let's say you've got twins or you've got 2 children about the same age. You can pay, it's $50 per subject or $75 for the whole grade. And they have a second login. All you need is just to make sure you have the workbooks or the materials that they need there. All the resources, all the teachers' editions are online for you there. And I actually went on there just a bit today. And I got to tell you, I'm a paper, hard copy type of teacher. But I will have to tell you, it's extremely tempting the more and more that I do things online to switch to that. On the parent portal, you as a parent have control over what your student says and does, what they're looking at, their communities and discussion groups. You have control over their settings. There's an adjustable grading scale. So as a parent, let's say they give you a set grading scale, but that's not the one you want to use, or one that you know is more compliant to your state. You can change it. There are 3 different ways to do grade books. There's a PDF that you can print off. There's an Excel spreadsheet, and it actually has all the points in it for you, and you can adjust that how you want. There's an online grade book. Your child can see his grades or not, depending on what you want. The older your child gets, the more independent you want them to be, so they have access to things there. You can actually look on there and see how long they watched a video. You can look and see if they've done the activity. You could delete activities off of there if you don't want them to do them or skip them. There are parent resources there that gives you quick files of everything you need. I'll tell you, that is a happy, happy place to go. As a parent, I would recommend that everybody try at least one online just to see it, even if it's just something simple, and just play around with it. I think you're going to find that it's so accessible and so many resources and tools. I can see how this could make life very easy for a parent.
Yes, I completely agree. I am a hands-on, tactile. I like the paper. I like the books. But you're exactly right. Having those resources at so customizable as a parent, and at your fingertips, no matter where you are, completely portable, is super attractive. And as technology driven as we all are, and especially our kids are, that's also attractive to them. It doesn't seem as outdated as our paper and pencils and books.
It's a good
Have Yeah, and it's good training. I know my children actually graduated from a virtual school, and one of the things they said was it made them even more prepared for college because even in a traditional college setting, it's very tech heavy, and so they were used to navigating the online discussions and the online tests, and so there was less. Less hindrance getting used to those tools in college. So there's something to be said for the technology and having them access those resources online. And I love the parent tools you're talking about. One of the things that I was going to ask you is, is it the same? Is it the same videos on DVD that are on the online portion? Is it the broken up the same lessons the same? Is it just a different delivery?
Exactly. Everything's identical. The paperwork, the assignments, everything is exactly the same. The video lesson guides are exactly the same. It's just how you use it. So if you're using DVD, it's just the ability to be flexible. So if you want to, you don't have very good internet, you want to be portable, it's the same price, everything's identical. The online, there's a little bit more technologically available to you with online. You're getting some of those resources online. You're getting the e-textbook that's available for your child during that time. There's some more parent options where you're able to, because you're online, you're able to grade more. You're able to do things, interacting with your student more, where they're online, where if you're using DVDs, your kids are not signing in online. They don't have that ability to go online and help themselves. You're doing that. They're using the textbook, they're using the DVDs. That's it. The online, now there's student involvement. And I love what you said about that, because we're constantly thinking technologically of the kids coming through. I taught using a teacher's edition. My daughter-in-law right now is doing some things using a teacher's edition because it's K4. But 2 years from now, she's online. She orders everything through her phone. So being able to access that stuff online is very helpful. And so for her child coming up, who's now 3.5 years old, online is definitely a skill that he's going to be learning. So I really appreciate you pointing that out. And what I love is BJU Press understands that not everybody learns the same way. Not everybody teaches the same way. So you as the parent need to have your needs met. The child needs to have their needs met. And we've tried through BJU Press and through HomeWorks by Precept to provide all of those resources to you, how you need them. And the other thing is we want feedback. And so we'll ask for things. We'll have focus groups. We'll have little letters in the teacher's edition. We want to know what would help you and how we can best meet your needs. And so I love the fact that they're constantly evolving, constantly looking toward the next best thing. And if it's not there yet in the particular subject you want, it's being developed. It's on its way, and you can count on that.
What a great point to end on. And what you said about, does it fit your family? Does it fit your needs? Does it meet your child's needs? And if it doesn't, choose what does. And at Powered by Education, we have a saying that every choice is not for every child, but every child should have every choice. And so just accessing the tools that meet your family's needs the most. And it sounds like BJU Press has it all. I mean, they have the buffet of options to access that can fit your student. And I love the consultants, the access to parents that are there that are actually doing the work and in their lives. So that's a resource that just can't be discounted. Sharon Fisher, thank you so much. HomeWorks by Precept. I'm going to drop some links in the comments. I think there's already a bunch of links already in there and a bunch of resources. But I'm going to drop the links to our state-specific groups, Powered by Education school choice groups, where you can connect with other parents from across the country. And definitely, I'd love to get our families connected with some of your consultants that can just talk them through taking that step to homeschool and figuring that out, and that they're not alone, that we're all in this together. Thank you so much, Sharon Fisher, for taking the time to be here and walking us through all these different options.
It's been a joy, and
I hope you'll be back. I hope you'll join us again, especially as BJU Press and HomeWorks by Precept launch new initiatives. I hope you'll be back to train us on that and tell us all about the latest initiatives. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to our families.
Glad to do it, and stay tuned on social media on HomeWorks by Precept. We're constantly putting new material out there, and it's been great talking with you.
Thank you so much.